any theory, add it. Again, at the same time, when it is going for funding agencies, they will tell you the word limit also. So word limit ke anusar you have to make it. Problem statement, which problem you are dealing with. Why did you come to the conclusion that this project, this research I will be doing? From the problem, you take out the problem objectives. Problem objectives, neither too many, too less, which are achievable. Sentences should not be too long, neither should be too short. It should be done in such a manner it holds the perception of the reader. Am I clear to everyone? Yes? Then definitely you all are researchers, you have research questions, or you have a hypothesis to be developed. Hypothesis means either you have to develop null hypothesis and alternate hypothesis. Then you have to prove it. After proving, either you accept one hypothesis and you reject another one. Whenever you are developing the hypothesis, there should be an independent variable and a dependent variable. Null hypothesis and take for example, let us discuss this. Null hypothesis and the alternate hypothesis. I've developed one hypothesis as number of lectures attended by the first year students has no effect on the final year exam score. The next one, the number of lectures attended by the first year students has a positive effect on their final exam scores. So I will find out statistically whatever the statistical measures I will be taking in research methodology. I will be accepting one and rejecting the other. This will help us in getting the conclusion. Am I clear to everyone? Yes? So project title, abstract, introduction, problem statement, most important. From the statement, problem statement, we have the research objectives. From the research objectives, you develop the hypothesis. Then I come to review of literature. Now tell me, is review of literature so important? Yes. Why? I told you in the beginning only. To find out the gap. What others have already studied and which you are studied, you will never get a funding. You will do something which should be different from others. Maybe with the same topic, but with a different methodology will also do. Okay, but you have to find out the gap. That gap can be done with the help of review of literature. Now doing review of literature has become much more easier. Before we had to go to the library, now library comes to you. Everything is digital. Let us find how to do this review of literature in a nutshell, in very short. So you can see 3 photographs there. Can you see? What is the first one? Yeah, what is the man doing? So review of literature, if you're really interested in research, it takes a lot of time. Okay, that's why the man is running from one to the other. What is the second one?
There are multiple opinions.
No. If you do a review of literature in a proper manner, that means critically you're correct. So your research quality improves. That's why a thumbs up. What is the last one? No, it is a continuous process. Review of literature starts from before you do a research and ends after you finish your research. No one can say, if anyone says my review of literature is over, that means in a true sense he or she is not a researcher. It's not a research. Every day you find out something new. It is a stepping stone. You really know in the world who else have studied with your topic and how they have studied. You know, in research you can never be the best. Never. If anyone says I'm the best, that means he or she is not a researcher. There is always a space to learn more. And review of literature provides that space. There are different sources. There are books, journals. Always, you know, when you make a review of literature, it is said, you mix up the sources. Don't refer only books or only journals. You know, that differs from subject to subject. Suppose someone is doing in politics, you can always see the newspaper articles, or in history, you can see the historical records. Or in geography, you can see the census report. You know, there are dissertations, there are theses, there are so many ways. So always mix up the sources of review of literature. Now the best one, the easiest one is the Google Scholar. How many of you are using Google Scholar? Everyone. Almost everyone is using Google Scholar. And Google Scholar, you can do anything with Google Scholar now. You give the topic, you can build your own library also. Isn't it? You just see whichever is important to you and you put them in the library. Or you can put the timeline also. That within this timeline only I need the research papers or whatever. Automatically it will come to your email. So you can work wonders with Google Scholar. So review of literature is not a problem at all. When writing the review of literature, always make 3 paragraphs. Whether you are writing for a research paper or you are writing for a research for funding, proposal for funding. There should be an introduction, there should be a body, there should be a conclusion. Introduction means from where did you take of literature, from your books, newspaper articles, journals, whatever. 2 lines is enough. Your body, X in this year said this, Y said this, and put your own views also. Okay, it is just not who has said what. And at the end, you write down that the above people have studied this particular topic, but my study is different. Like I have studied, there were many people who had worked for traffic problems in Mumbai, but I had used remote sensing and GIS. I had used the traffic signals, how much time they're losing out by standing in the traffic jam. That was not studied. So many people have studied. It is not necessary every time you will get a new topic, but you have to prove whatever you are doing is a new one, maybe with the old topic.
Like you just said, you have to prove whatever you have done as a new one. So that should be written at the
last paragraph. We have referred so and so, but my topic is this, which was never referred, which was never done. So that is a newness. That is the research gap. Understood? That research gap is very, very important. Okay, so you can take your review of literature either from international or from national, that depends upon your subject, and identify the research gap. Somebody will tell you what is a minimum number I have to do in research. There is no minimum number unless and until you identify the gap. You can make 1,000, but still your gap is not fulfilled. That means your topic is not proper. Okay, that analysis you have to do. So, project title is done? Done? Working. We are still working. Abstract is done? Introduction? Yes, you have written the background? Fantastic. Problem statement? Definitely yes. Yes. From the problem statement, what else you have done? Objectives. Then from objectives, what did you develop? Hypothesis. Hypothesis cannot be a single sentence. It has to be 2 reverse one, null and alternate. And then through methodology, you will prove it, whatever. Review of literature should be done? Yes. Should be done. Because unless and until we do review of literature, it will definitely not be accepted for funding. Okay, research methodology. Everyone knows what will be a research methodology, either primary, that depends upon your study. Yes or no? Yes. Primary, secondary, what are you doing in primary? That depends upon the subject. Another thing you have to remember is the innovativeness. At least 2 lines you have to write. What is that newness in your topic? I told now, traffic problems many have studied, but they have not used remote sensing to change the timing of the traffic signals. That was my newness. So you have to prove what is the newness in your study. 1 line ka. Everyone, if you think no, there must be some newness in your study, which you have to say. If you cannot prove the newness, your research funding will not happen. After newness, definitely how your research will be helpful. Either it will be helpful to the society. If I do that slum wala project, definitely it is helpful to the society. The sewage will be treated and the number of diseases will become less. Okay, like my project of traffic problem was taken up by Prime Minister's office so that it will be taken up in the policy implication. So that is also a implication. So either for society or for policy application, you have to make, because project is something you will not get funding unless and until it is useful. Always you remember. Proposed budget. Generally for a major research project, this way you have to make the proposed budget. 45% of whatever the amount is, you have to give for field work, 35%. For equipment and study material, 10%. Contingency is always 5%. Publication is 5%. And total ka 7.5% is institutional overheads. It is there in your system. You will get it. Okay? This is the framework. If it is not provided also, you have to follow this. This is the format. This one is done in too detail, but the percentages you have to remember. Time frame. Generally, I use a Gantt chart for making a time frame. This 2 years ka survey, generally you get a fund for 2 years to 3 years. How will you divide it? Now 2 years may 1 year, 8 months goes in data collection, 2 months are remaining only for your analysis. That is not proper. So month wise or year wise or 6 monthly or 3 month quarterly, you have to make this Gantt chart. Very important when you are applying for money. Okay, when you are doing with your own money, you can do anything. Okay, but when you are applying for money from the government, you have to do. And generally, I always prefer a Gantt chart. Otherwise, I am lost like this man here. Okay, so otherwise you keep on doing, there is no end to it. Somewhere we have to put a full stop. References, whichever subject you belong to, MLA, APA, Chicago, IE, whatever references you do, you have to write the references properly. Now in Google Scholar, you can do a referencing. Now there are so many online research tools where you can do the referencing. Plagiarism, very important. Always get your project checked in plagiarism. Now there are many online plagiarism available now. Anyone is using? No, online, free mein. Don't use it. Don't use it. I'll tell you the reason why. क्या होता है? Online में आता है ना? And then you get a percentage. It gets stored in the cloud. Now suppose whenever you are sending your research paper or your research proposal somewhere and they get it plagiarism checked by a licensed copy, it is stored in the cloud, na? So that comes as a plagiarism material. Many people does not know this. So if your college does not have it, it is very expensive. You can go to nearby colleges or you can go to the university and get plagiarism checked. Okay, our college has it and we do a community service. If you send me your research paper or your proposal, I will be more than happy to give you a plagiarism report by Turnitin licensed copy. Many people does not know. They keep on doing it online. Sometimes formattings are given, sometimes they are not given, but you have to maintain Times New Roman. Font size should be 12. Body 14 as it is then. Line spacing should be 1.5. This is general. You have to do it. So friends, all of you are ready with your research proposals now? Yes? At least you know how to write and what things you have to keep in mind? Yes or no? There are many agencies. For your subject, you have to choose the right agency. You are belonging to science and applying in ICSSR, you will never be funded. You are belonging to history and applying to DST, you will never be funded. So you have to find out the right funding agency. There are many international bodies. I've already shared my PPT with all of you. You can see them as well. There are projects which is funded by the ministries also. You can see them as well. There are national bodies like UGC and ICSSR. State level bodies of Maharashtra like University of Mumbai, although now they have stopped. After COVID, it is not coming, but still I have written. Okay, Maharashtra State Commission of Women also used to give, but Bandra, BKC mein. But again, after the COVID, they have stopped. I myself have got it from there. Yeah, but after COVID, they have stopped. So you can.
National Women Commission we are applying for.
That becomes a national body. You could get it. Anyway, देखो नहीं मिलना चलता है. Only you have to give. वो किधर ना किधर एक click होएगा ही होएगा. There are many private agencies. Also Ford Foundation, although no one gets it, but you can have private agencies as well. So you have to choose a funding agency according to your subject and your topic, and then you have to apply. Some common errors. This is very important. You have made the research proposal. Don't rush. Majority research proposal funding goes away because you rush. Okay, you don't revise. Simple silly mistakes हो गया. फिर बोलेगा एक spelling का silly mistake हो गया. It does not give a right approach. So never ever rush. When you're making a research proposal, you should have an idea about how much money you require. Don't write too much, neither too little. Okay, if your project requires 5 lakh, you write 6 lakhs. Neither you write 10 lakhs, nor you write 2 lakhs. You cannot deminate your project. So that assessment you have to do. Count the number of people you require, number of time you require, or if you're doing experiments, the experiments you require, the instruments you require, and accordingly make a budget. Never ever ignore instructions. Every funding agency will give you some instructions. Always follow it. What I said was a general one, but every funding agency has some instructions. Don't, in the research proposal, don't cram too many ideas. अभी सब कुछ लिख दोगे तो project मिलने के बाद क्या लिखोगे आप? Don't cram too many ideas. Do not use tiny fonts. जब मैं ज़्यादा idea दूंगी, let me use font number 8. No. Okay, it should be point number 12 only. Okay, figures, and sometimes we give figures or we make a table very low in resolution. They cannot see. Don't do that. Okay, sometimes they ask you to write what are the papers you have already published. Sometimes the papers are not published, they are in the process. They write in preparation, in the process. That's a wrong idea. Only the papers which has been published by you, write those only. Okay, these are general, you have to remember. Download the complete proposal. Read it well. Use correct format. Proofread. See, 5 important, you have to do peer reading, yes or no? Proofread. Make sure everything is legible. 12 font hai. Okay, think of a person like me who is minus 8.5 power. तो मेरे को तो छोटा font दिखेगा ही नहीं. So I will keep it aside, no? So make it very, very legible and follow all the instructions. Sometimes, if you see the photograph here, did you see the photograph? Don't fund, maybe fund and fund. हाँ? कौन सा सबसे ज़्यादा है? कौन सा सबसे ज़्यादा है? ऐसे ही होता है. Don't fund में ज़्यादा चला जाता है. Then maybe fund. और actual funding इतना कम मिलता है. So you have to be different from others. I told you it did not have to be good proposal, it has to be a great proposal. So for great proposal, you have to read all instructions and you have to work on this. Suppose innovativeness आपका point नहीं है. Put that 2 lines of innovativeness in some other point, but prove it. What you are doing is something new. Did you understand? So we have to be smart here. Being smart is very important. Suppose हम लोग दे दिया, we have submitted. 1 साल बीत गया, no one wrote back. So you have to remember. Program officer को by email, phone आता है ना, you can contact so and so. Here, whenever you are contacting somebody, be ready with your answer. Suppose पूछेगा आपका टॉपिक क्या है, रुको मैं बताती हूँ, ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. नंबर क्या है, okay, proposal number. So always be ready. Keep it in front because we forget, no? पहले दिया ना, always you will forget. So you will always have to be ready with it. Okay. Never ask certain questions to the program officer. Will you fund my research? Or who is he? He's just taking your phone calls. Actual funding होगा या नहीं, वो अलग लोग बैठा है. They never take calls there. Okay. Is this a good research topic? Don't ask. Which topic do you think I should work on? What are my odds of being funded? Don't do all that. Okay. Fund नहीं होगा. They did not understand my project. I'm so good. I always feel I'm so good. They did not understand. Chalega. We will apply somewhere else. Okay. More questions not to ask. If I send a copy of my proposal to you, will you tell me what you think of it?
No.
My proposal wasn't funded. If I resubmit, what are the chances of success? Definitely not. Isn't it? Same topic, it cannot be done. Who are the reviewers? Don't ask. Not funded, not funded. So, generally, when you want to do a research project, you want to share your research findings and you want to promote other researchers and you want it for application. Keep that in mind. In 1 year, if I don't get, my life of an academician is not coming to an end. Isn't it? I can do, if you have love for research, you can do it after your retirement also. There are many agencies who fund it. So not to worry. What are the closing advices? Some of us may feel ashamed or embarrassed about asking for money or promoting ourselves. लगता है ना, अरे 5 लाख मांगू क्या, खराब लगेगा ना? नहीं. Give actual benefit to your project. My project is this and I need 5 lakhs rupees. If you don't want to give, that is your problem. The most important thing, keep in mind that you don't lose anything by asking. They will give you or they will not, you will not lose your job, no. Nothing like that. If you never ask for money, they will never give you money. Besides, the worst thing is that they can only say no. इससे ज़्यादा तो कुछ कर नहीं सकता ना. If you look at Sachin Tendulkar, एक दिन में थोड़ी वो Sachin Tendulkar हुआ. नहीं ना, he must have worked very hard. So let us all work hard. Then only we can do. So if we really keep in mind all these things, our research proposal, funding, our format will be the best one. Thank you very much. Hope it will be useful.
Any questions?
Ma'am, suppose we put a proposal somewhere.
Sit some time for some time.
We put up we put up a proposal somewhere and they deny, saying that this, and someone else or somebody works on it. So is there any mechanism or copyright thing like that?
No, proposals does not have copyright, but if you come to know, you can always put a grievance. If it is a government funded,
Right.
you can always put a grievance because that you can do.
Because it will be the idea stolen.
You can always put a grievance. You can state that which day it was emailed, what was the report gained, and now maybe nothing will happen, but they will be precautious.
Ma'am, one of our proposal got rejected. They said that you haven't done any pilot study. So,
Was it in the instruction?
no, there was as such no such instructions.
It was a major project.
It was ICCR.
In major projects, generally they ask for a pilot study to get an idea. Okay, which subject, sir?
Blockchain, agriculture.
So it is technology, no? So that's why maybe a project study is required. But it's not compulsion. It is not a compulsion. You could have stated that it wasn't a compulsion. You could have written to them.
And where to put the findings, ma'am, of the pilot study?
In the proposal itself, no? In the proposal itself, they must have given a, suppose they wanted a pilot study or something, some references in research methodology. No, in research methodology you can put. In research methodology, the last paragraph should be a pilot study.
If there was a research paper on the same topic, say for example he had done 2-3 research papers on the same topic, can he do a review of literature of his own paper?
Yes, 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 you have to do. Otherwise it will come in plagiarism. It is called self-plagiarism. You have to do. I also refer my own book, own paper. So I write Datta, which year? Suppose in 2010. And then the full reference comes to the reference. So you have to do that. Otherwise it is self-stealing.
Yeah.
Pucho, pucho.
Anyone else? Any questions?
The PPT is here, so you can share it with everyone. Yeah.
It was very nicely made.
Thank you so much.
Ma'am, yesterday, ma'am, we had a person from Gujarat. Janet University is working with Gujarat.
Okay.
And now he said the entire scenario is going to change. And NRF
NIRF,
is going to take entire things in their hand. Maybe any agencies, but they will decide. And earlier they used to divide the fund. Some fund used to come from ICSSR, sometimes.
Now it will be centralized.
Now it will be centralized. How, I mean, this will work for... I mean,
It is very difficult. Now everything is becoming centralized, no?
Yes.
It is very difficult. Now funding itself has become a problem.
So what they said earlier, it used to be like UGC also needs to...
UGC has stopped long back.
Yeah,
No?
that's the reason they slowly and gradually that's the reason even Mumbai University has stopped. So everything they will channelize and they will going to give the funding, but if the research is very good, they will never hesitate to fund.
That is the point, because I am one of the reviewers for ICSSR. Okay, but when I get the projects, I don't get it from Mumbai, obviously. Huh? But when I get the proposals, they're so badly made. You can understand they have not given time. Oh na, fluke mein lag jata hai to lag jata hai, aisa type.
So it's relevance only on social output, I mean.
Yeah, some implications, yes. Some.
Yes, even I got many projects, but I rejected three because the title never matched.
Match, it should be matching, no?
Was matching with the
I forgot to tell you, after you write this, you come back to the title and finalize it. And then you write the abstract.
Okay, good afternoon everyone. I am presented here on behalf of Thakur College of Science and Commerce to thank you ma'am for an awesome session conducted by ma'am. Thank you ma'am for making time out of your busy schedule and enlightening us with your knowledge and skills. We are grateful for that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Like students, I said to be quiet because I'm a teacher after all. The teacher का कुछ चीज जाता ही नहीं है. Yes? Thank you so much.